Pogs originally got their name from a brand of juice of the same name. Pog is an acronym that stands for passion fruit, orange, and guava. You can still get Pog juice in Hawaii and parts of the western US, and it's pretty darn tasty. Pogs may have actually got their start thousands of years ago with the Japanese game of Manko. The object of Manko was to flip over your opponent's pieces, which were the same relative size as modern milk caps and similarly adorned with images of cultural significance. The modern game of Pogs came about many years later when a 6th grade teacher in Hawaii taught her students a game similar to the one she had learned from her grandparents. Rather than using milk caps like they did, however, she substituted the disposable lids from Pog juice bottles. The game gained in popularity and quickly spread across the Hawaiian Islands and into the mainland United States. The most common game of Pogs is played with two kinds of discs, Pogs and Slammers. Pogs are usually cardboard and Slammers are heavier and made of metal, rubber, or plastic. The rules of the game are simple enough. Players take turns throwing the slammer at the stack of Pogs and then collecting whichever Pogs get flipped over. In some games, the Pogs are returned to their original owner at the end, while those looking for some Vegas-like action can also play for keeps. Just a couple years after the first game of Pogs, the game had exploded across the world. By 1993, millions of Pogs were being sold weekly, and the hype lasted longer than most would have expected. One reason that the game caught on like it did was price. It only cost a few bucks to buy enough Pogs to play. Despite being relatively inexpensive, however, during their 1994 heyday, Pog sales accounted for approximately $10 million a week in California alone. Another reason Pogs became so popular was that they offered a variety of designs, with images of movie stars, athletes, politicians, and more. Businesses like Nintendo and American Airlines soon hopped on the bandwagon, and in 1994, McDonald's gave away some extremely popular Power Rangers Pogs in their Happy Meals. The wide success of Pogs even inspired a mascot named Pogman, who you may remember from commercials of the time. Unfortunately, the popularity of Pogs soon led to controversy in America's schools. Fights broke out among disgruntled players, and Pogs were sometimes targets of theft. What's more, some adults viewed playing for keeps as too similar to gambling, and teachers grew tired of distracted kids. Others objected to the images on the Pogs, some of which featured designs like skulls, drug paraphernalia, and supposed demonic imagery. As is often the case, Pogs were banned in many schools, which led to a black market of kids playing and trading on the sly. Just like all fads, the popularity of Pogs faded just as quickly as it had arrived. But even now, the game remains popular in smaller circles of diehards. In 2015, a Slam for Hope competition was held in Canada to raise money for a children's charity, and similar events are still held all over the world. Interestingly, Pogs are still relevant within the US military. In an attempt to reduce the cost of transporting metal coins, troops in Afghanistan were issued Pog-inspired tokens to be used as currency. As of 2016, they remain a valid form of currency, and are accepted at official Army and Air Force exchanges and even at fast food chains like Taco Bell and Burger King. In the decades that have followed peak Pog, video games and apps have displaced tangible toys. Perhaps it was only in the 90s that a game based on cardboard circles could grow into a multi-million-dollar industry. Or maybe one day there will be a Pog renaissance, a return to tossing holographic metal onto spherical stacks and playing for keeps.